It's been a little while since we talked about Shadow, and despite me streaming games on the channel here every Friday using the Shadow service, and despite the Shadow Ghost being sat at my desk in the background of every video, I still get asked fairly regularly, do I still use Shadow? So of course the answer to that is yes. As we've already mentioned, it's great for playing games. If you haven't checked out the streams on a Friday, I highly recommend you stop by. And as well as that, it's just the best system that I've ever used in terms of other things I need to do, like editing these videos. But how do they continue to make it so good? Well, my last update video for this was sometime at the start of the year, so I thought we'd take this opportunity just to see all of the awesome things they've been doing this year, and all of the important changes which are still yet to come. And the last thing we're going to cover, in case you haven't already checked it out, every week Shadow do a kind of Q&A type thing on Reddit. So I've been through those posts, picked out some of your most common questions, and gone straight to the tippy top to ask those questions. I mean, I went to community manager Luke, but same thing. So first things first, since the last time we talked about this, improvements. What's happened? So the first thing you may have noticed is the sexy UI changes made to the launcher, whether you're using Windows, Mac OS, Linux, or Shadow Ghost. But did you know, as well as just looking great, the entire launch process itself was entirely reworked to be quicker and more reliable. Next is a feature which slipped its way from beta all the way into live, straight into your heart, is the optimal settings detector. With this, if you're launching Shadow for the first time, it can do a scan of your internet speed and recommend the best bandwidth to get you the best performance. So let me ask you this, if you're a Windows user, have you ever pressed Windows Alt and O? And for Mac OS users, ever pressed Alt Command and O? No?
You know it's fun, right?
Well, that launches the brand new quick menu, which allows you to very quickly change your bandwidth settings, enable your microphone, and monitor your frame rate, bandwidth, latency, and packet loss all in real time.
Well, that's fine, but I don't see how that affects... What?
Next, although the Ghost is my primary device, I'm also a Mac user, so I was super excited when they announced that they'd worked on performance improvements for the Mac app, specifically using it over a Wi-Fi network, aka pretty much the only way that you can connect to the internet on a Mac because of its damn minimalist design. I'm just saying, Tim, you know what's cool? Ethernet ports. Next, if you're a current user, you may have received a notification recently asking you to update your NVIDIA drivers.
What do you want?
But Mark, what was that about? Well, that was the implementation of OCapture 2.0. But Mark, what's OCapture 2.0? I'm not sure. But the Shadow release notes describe the side effects as better performance, streaming fluidity improvements, better stability, and erectile dysfunction. No, wait, just those first three. So we all know to run Shadow you need a minimum of a 15 meg internet connection. But let's say those are rookie numbers.
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
And you're rocking fiber optic like a big man. Well, maybe the new high quality audio option is for you. The new high quality audio option uses uncompressed PCM sound to deliver crisp and clear audio that will make you feel like you're actually there. So we briefly mentioned microphones before, and I know that was one of the areas where people were having some issues connecting their microphone. Well, thanks to the new 2019 Shadow roadmap, which was designed to make it more than just a gaming PC, two things were concentrated on to fix those microphone issues. The first were improvements to USB over IP, which improved the auto detection of new devices like microphones. And the second thing was simple microphone management, which allows you to easily enable and disable your microphone, change the settings, and allow you to save those settings so they're all still there for the next time you log on. And on that note, if you wanted to see what improvements were on that roadmap, I'll leave a link to it in the description down below so you can see what else is planned for 2019. And the last thing wasn't actually an update from Shadow, but from Apple, but was well worth mentioning for Shadow users. A recent iOS 13 update now means that Xbox and PS4 controllers now work with Apple devices.
We salute you. Showing.
Which therefore means they work with Apple devices which are running Shadow. So before, the only controllers that would work were MFI, which were made for iPhone, iPod, iPad, basically made for Apple devices. It was a specific certification which you had to get to have that controller work on an Apple device. Which basically meant companies were going out, getting this certification, slapping it on a £20 controller, and bumping the price up to 100 because you had no other options. Which leads us nicely on to the most commonly asked questions, which I painstakingly collected from Reddit. No thanks necessary. Maybe just give the video a like, share it on Twitter, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead. I'll wait. So, on to your questions. So, the first one, probably the number one question every week on Reddit and on Twitter and in my YouTube comments and pretty much everywhere else is, more storage. So Shadow have said, additional storage has been a victim of its own success, and we are regularly asked for updates by the community. Due to the strong surge of recent subscriptions, our current data centers do not have the needed capacity to add storage arrays. We are currently looking into making more space available, which is leading us to explore several possibilities, including the opening of new rooms. So specifically for the UK and the EU, they've said specifically right now, there's still no update available to this, but possibly later this month. This month being October 2019, depending on when you're watching this video. And for the US, because they're using completely different data centers, at the moment there's no update at all. Next one was progress on VR. By the way, I bought an Oculus Quest, stay tuned for a review. So on VR, we have a team currently working on it, but are not ready to announce any further details. What we can tell you though, is that we will follow the Shadow state of mind, an open experience allowing you to enjoy VR with different technology. It will not only be an app for a specific VR headset, which to me, I think basically means they won't just be making a Shadow app for the Oculus store or the Hive store or anything like that. It will be any PC with a Shadow instance launched. You'll be able to plug a VR headset into that and run VR games as you would a regular gaming PC. Next was having the Shadow app being compatible with Chrome OS. We are currently working on the rework of our Android app, which we will soon announce. We know that Chrome won't be a day one feature on this, but it should come in the near future. Next was UK IP, which is a feature they talked about a little while ago that would basically allow UK users to be assigned a UK IP address to avoid things like anytime you log onto a site like Amazon, you are being asked for two-factor authentication. So on that, they've said, we're in the final stages of testing phase and users can expect a full rollout soon. So keep an eye out. And next is the current state of the multi-screen feature. And let me just be clear, that was logging onto a second instance of Shadow and placing it next to your screen, for example, so you can extend it over to there. Not using dual monitors on a setup like this. So on that, they've said the extra screen feature is still available in alpha. We're not giving a release date for now, but the next feature we will be releasing, called extended display management, is a prerequisite for us in terms of user experience. So those are your key highlights for everything that's happened since kind of my last video to now. But what about things to come? So Shadow recently announced something which they're working on at the moment, which is a new tiering system. So this tiering system will split the hardware available to users into 3 different tiers and therefore 3 different pricing structures. They've made it very clear that this hardware tiering in no way means that any of the hardware will be downgraded from its current performance. Instead, the starting tier will remain at the current system specifications, but at a lower reduced price. Tier 2 would be improved specification at your current price, and Tier 3 will blow your friggin' mind. But that's all I'll say on the tiering system for now, mainly because I'm making a dedicated video just talking about that. Whew. We made it, guys. We did it. And if you made it this far in the video, a special thank you to you. If you're interested in Shadow and you haven't already signed up, remember there's always a link in the description down below for you to get 10% off your first month subscription. And as of the time of making this video, there are very small quantities of the Shadow Ghost available to order. If you're a current user, just head to your account on the Shadow website, head to subscription, and there will be one available to order at the time of making this video. I have no idea how long they're gonna last. So if you're interested in that, be quick. But if you ever wanted more details on Shadow from yours truly, there's a playlist dedicated to it on the channel, which I'll link at the end of this video. And remember, we're streaming from Shadow every Friday, so be sure to drop by. But on that note, if you enjoyed this video, you found it particularly helpful, a thumbs up would be appreciated. If you have not already, remember to subscribe to the channel. And as always, I shall see you in the next one. Yes.